And we're live. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Diane. We have one person here, as
Lovely.
usual. The only person. The one and only.
And we are very grateful.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably not because we suck. It's probably because no one is alive.
At this
Right
hour?
now.
Yeah,
at this
probably.
hour. I've been seeing people doing live streams, as in reading sprints, and they're all at 2 a.m. in the morning, my time. So I'm like, okay, so it makes sense. Everyone is just sleeping right now.
Probably, yeah. Let's play a game of guessing who forgot to eat because they got distracted.
The
So,
person with ADHD, am I correct in assuming that? Sorry. No?
I got distracted with something and I forgot to eat, so toast.
Okay, you can eat live. I don't mind. Just watched episode 8, nearly forgot. Very sleepy. Told you. Everyone is sleeping.
It's such a terrible idea to eat peanut butter right now.
Why?
It keeps
Why
getting
not?
stuck in the.
Okay. Okay, makes sense.
I forgot the
Had
name for the thing. It's
was distracted by fanfic. Don't we all?
understandable.
Understandable. I was reading a lot of historical romances this week because it was historical romance readathon. Finally read 𝕊𝕆𝕀𝔸𝕃, which is like an FF romance. Actually enjoyed it more than the first book. Though it was more historical fiction than historical romance. Read Eva March. It was the new author for me. She's the author of MM historical romances. I'm not particularly into her stuff. I figured that out. Also read some Tessa Dare, but she always slaps. What else? I just finished watching The Hating Game. It's not on your timeline. No?
No.
So basically, Sally Thorne, I think the author's name. The Hating Game is one of those super popular romance books.
Oh yeah, I think
really
I heard the
And they
title.
recently they were hyping up people for the adaptation, and it came out, I think, maybe yesterday, like a few days ago, and I was like, should I watch it? Should I not watch it? Maybe I should read the book first. And then I just saw it on my streaming service, and it was cheap, so I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it and watch it. It was actually okay. It was pretty good.
It was a movie or TV show?
Movie.
Oh.
I think we get so little in terms of romantic comedies that I'm willing to check out anything.
There is a
Because
mosquito in my room and I'm offended by that. Bitch.
put a piece of tape to your
If
ceiling.
I randomly clap, not to scare anybody, if I randomly clap, it's just because I want to crush that thing.
We always, when we had a lot of flies, when we not lived outside, but when we were outside, like at the counter house, we would put a piece of tape on the ceiling and let it dangle, and it would collect all the flies. Really helpful. I have not watched that movie, but have to. I thought the book was okay, but hey, why not watch it? It's pretty good. Lucy Hale is pretty good in it, and they do have chemistry. Although I watched it in with the dubs, so it's in Russian, and I think half the jokes were literally obliterated. So
Usually
they're
happens.
literally not there. Like, I could sense that it was supposed to be funny, but I was like, no, there was supposed to be some other word, some pun that cannot be translated to Russian, so they just decided to give up on that. So that is, I think, all. I got, is it the same in English? When you get a swollen eye?
Pink eye? No.
I'm
No,
not
it's
sure it's a
something.
pink eye. It's like conjunctive. It's called conjunctivite in Russian, and I think it's similar in English, sort of similar.
Conjunctivitis?
Yeah, I want to say maybe we're just trying to anglophile
Because I'm
it.
thinking of it in Spanish, so I was just like, it sounds similar. Like in
Yeah,
Spanish is conjuntivitis.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it is like along the same line. But
yeah.
we get it, we get it.
Yeah, it's like it's really annoying because my whole like lid is red on one of the eyes, and it pisses me off. Really, really pisses me off. I'm expecting it to disappear, and it's been 2 days already. Um, I don't think I have anything else.
I got my tooth removed.
Yeah, I remember that.
Fun times.
I mean,
Actually,
real life.
it was a lot easier than last time. Last time when I got the other like what are they called, like wisdom teeth?
Yeah.
Wisdom tooth, I think. I got it removed, and apparently, like my body decided to say "fuck you." So the root of the tooth was like a hook, so it wouldn't fucking let go, and it was a fucking struggle. It took like what, like 2 or 3 hours, something like that, to get the fucking thing out, and it took a
Ooh,
lot of like
so long.
anesthetic shots,
Mm-hmm.
and not very fun. This time it was a lot easier. The dentist um, is a very tough lady. She was like on to business. She came in and she's like, okay, I see the two. We gotta get it out. And do you want to do it now or later? I'm just like, now. Like, okay, lay down. I was just like, okay. And I could feel the fucking tool on my jawbone. It was not fun. Apparently, something did get stuck, like last bit of the root or something,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a bit of a struggle, but it came out, and it was a lot easier than last time. It took like an hour and a half this time, I think, and this time it only required about 6 shots of anesthetic, sort of.
Yikes.
Me. And but
I'm so sorry.
it was a lot easier. I'm getting the stitches removed tomorrow, I think. So I keep fucking with the stitches or forgetting about them. So I was finishing like the gifts that I was making for my friend. They're in a box up there. I
Mm-hmm.
finished the scarf and the hat for my friend.
Yeah.
I'll probably post a picture later. And while I was like, I was looking for stuff to watch while I was like crocheting. So
Mm-hmm.
I watched another like K drama called Extracurricular.
Yeah, I remember your tweets. You hated it.
It's the first time in a while that I hate watch something. I, I,
Why
I
did you do it
wanna.
to yourself?
It just has such a fucked up sense of like justice. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you are really punishing all the wrong people here. Like, all the wrong people here. So, eh, eh,
Okay.
eh. I hate to watch that. Yeah, I hate to watch that. And I kept yelling at my TV at times, and I kept like pulling on the stitches. So it was like, okay, I need to
Oh,
chill. I gotta chill.
yeah, really.
And then I think on Thursday I went to the movie theaters to watch a K-pop movie. It's like a documentary slash concert for Monsta X.
Oh, yeah, I've seen something like that on my timeline, and I was cringing.
It's the best. Loved it. They actually like a very very sweet like teenager kid came over and like gave glow sticks to everybody because I admit that we are a little bit obnoxious when it
Yeah.
comes to like concerts like that, especially when it's like a concert. If it's a documentary, we will most likely stay quiet half the time. But if it's a concert, we're gonna treat it like a motherfucking concert. So people are like screaming and singing and like every K-pop group has this like lamps, just a light stick,
Okay.
and those shits are built to shine in stadiums. So
Okay.
those motherfuckers are bright.
Mm-hmm.
And we have asked a few times for like the other fans to not bring the light sticks to the concert, like to the movie theater, because again, those lights are meant to shine in concerts, in stadiums, not
Mm-hmm.
in a tiny like
Mm-hmm.
movie theater. So every time somebody lights one of those up, I am blinded. But it was still adorable. So at least we had like the glow sticks and everything. It was fun. It was cute. It's been the last. I've seen everything that they've put out of BTS on the movie theater, but this is the first time I see something like from another group, and it was fun. Cool times. And what else? Mm, I watched something else. I started watching another drama last night before I instantly remember. Oh shit, the episodes. And I watched the episodes. I got my notes and I watched them, so we're cool. And on the very first episode, I am a very big fan of thrillers, but
Okay.
holy shit, if I can get like the bingo card for like thrillers and cross out all the stereotypes, all the tropes. It's just like uh the detective that is like very manly, very burly, and just like I don't care about anything. I'm above the law. I'm gonna like punch everybody. Action hero. And then like his wife is calling him. He's like, yeah, throws the phone away because why am I gonna answer to that woman right now? I'm in action. His wife was calling him because she was being chased by a serial killer, and this dumb fuck was just out there playing like Street Fighter. So yeah, that was sad. And the actor is it. The acting of that man had me wondering: are you stupid or are you drunk? The entire episode. Like, are you
Maybe it
stupid?
was a choice.
Maybe it's both. I'm pretty sure. And every 5 minutes, I was like, "Close your fucking mouth! Close your fucking mouth, bitch! Why are you leaving your mouth open? Close your fucking mouth!" He's annoying as fuck, and he's dumb as fuck, and he's making choices with acting that makes me question who the fuck hired this motherfucker, or more importantly, who the fuck wrote this? And it's like the victim has no brains. She's going to, of course, follow the shady man into like the abandoned part of the city, down the alleys, down into like construction sites. Sure, right, okay. And then it's the stereotypical. There is one female officer that is like so brilliant, so forward thinking, and every man is lazy and just like it challenges her like authority and everything every 5 seconds just because. And while I know that is true, it looks like ridiculous. It's just
You
like
know what's
if you ask her, I feel like if they ask her like what is the date, they're gonna argue with her choice of like saying it's just like I don't know, December 12th.
it's funny to me that we all know that it's true, as in like it happens,
Yes,
and it's like we're like, oh, see, this is wrong. So we're constantly given this representations of these situations in like thrillers and like cop shows and like shows like that. We're constantly given that, but nothing changes. So like that's interesting to me. So we all know we're all aware of the situation, but nothing changes.
exactly. So I really love when like thrillers get very creative and they change it up. But there, and I can like pass like the stereotypes of a woman dies for the protagonist man pain. I get
Hmm.
that it happens like every action movie, everything happens all the fucking time. I can like I am a horror movie fan. I can understand to play up the stupidity of people. I get it. Sure. After the pandemic, I will never question the stupidity of humanity again. Understanding. But still, it's just like when you put every single trope together at the same episode, it's also shot very weirdly. Like the choice of like technically, like the shots, the lighting, everything is just off. And apparently, the protagonist, like the female protagonist, has like a super hearing ability, and she works at like emergency center, like 911, but
Yeah, got it.
and apparently like the entire police are treating the call center as if it's like some esoteric, not to be trusted, not to be credited center. I'm just like, why are you doubting? What is your procedure? That you are like actively trying to play that, oh, we don't need this service here, just stay there and call us when you have evidence or something. Just like, if somebody's calling you that somebody's being chased or murdered, you ignore it until a person is dead? Or
I've seen a
what
movie
goes on?
like that. I've seen a movie like that. I think it was an American movie, and sort of something similar happened there. Not as in like not as in the character had psychic abilities, but as in they were ignored a lot when they
Yeah,
were telling
it's a.
something was
I
going on.
think I saw. There's one movie about a call center that's very good. That it's with Halle Berry.
I knew that
But,
you were going to say that.
I mean,
It's the only. Yeah, I know.
there's
I only checked two
there's
movies.
another one
In
with
call
Jake
center.
Gyllenhaal. There's
Yeah,
one with,
that
yeah,
one.
and I get like even at that, like it's frustrating, but it's well done. Here, they honest to God treat like the call center like it doesn't fucking matter. Like, oh, this is not the procedure. This is not how we do things. We're not gonna let this woman tell us what to do and order us around. Why are you like this? There's people actually like calling you to do your job. Are you being offended because somebody's asking you to do your job, sir? The fuck?
Maybe.
And oh, so the excuse for the main character is that she had like an accident that affected her vision. So her hearing got like super sharp
Supersonic.
and strong. Yes. So now she can see well, but now she can also hear everything.
Wow.
She she heard the buzzing of the lights outside of the street when like a girl was calling for help. And she's like, oh, I can hear. Is that
She's a
an
superhero now.
LED light? And I don't know what is. So she tries to like explain like there should be like a sign, like a light up sign outside of where the girl is, and they're like, oh, where do you get this information? How can we trust you? And also like everybody's mad at her, especially like the male protagonist, because when this dumbass was playing Street Fighter in real life, his wife got murdered. And apparently it was the mistake of the call center. How often do people like sue a call center, like an emergency center, because the person that called died? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it makes zero sense.
So I don't know why she was in trouble, but okay, sure, I guess. And like they catch some guy, and after this other man was like playing fucking clown, getting drunk to the crime scene of the murder of his wife. He was drunk, he was being a clown. He was like overplaying being drunk. Like when somebody's like overplaying being drunk, like
Hmm.
stumbling and like slurring and just like, oh my god. And either you play drunk or you play a character in shock. My god, you don't have the skills to do both. And the they have like the recording for the call. They trapped, like they arrested a guy, and it's on the trial. and they call her over, and it's just like, oh, okay, so this is the voice of the man that you heard on the
Mm-hmm.
call while the woman was being murdered. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, it's not him. The difference between the voices is so ridiculous that you don't need superpowers or like magical abilities or like voice analyzing anything.
Mm-hmm.
The guy they arrested sounds like this. The killer sounds like this. So it's not that hard, my guy. They didn't want to deal with it. They didn't want to do their jobs. So they cut they edited the fucking recording and cut out the piece where you can hear the serial killer. And then this motherfucker, the clown, was apparently, I guess, drunk again or stupid. I still don't know which. In the trial of his wife's murder. And
Mm-hmm.
he does a fucking scene. He's just like trying to throw things and trying to get like on the face of the officer and just like, oh, this guy's laughing, I'm gonna fucking punch him, and just like, sir, it's the trial for the murder of your wife. Can you get your shit together? I am begging you. Um
So.
and still, like, if you know the actor,
Mm-hmm.
you know right away who is the killer, so that is also ruined. That actor is like, it's the one that was in Antique Bakery, the
Mm.
one that was like the gay character.
Yeah, if you think I remember how he looks, you're mistaken.
I know, but like if you're like used to like his acting or anything, he has like a very particular like this part, like
Mm-hmm.
the jawline and the smile is like very characteristic. That even if you
Mm-hmm.
like can't see up to here, you can recognize him, or even his voice. He has like a very
Mm-hmm.
deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to like confuse us about who the killer is. Ma'am, I just saw half of this face and I know. Were you trying to keep it a secret? Like was this supposed to be like the plot twist? Was this an attempt at something?
I mean, I don't think they expect everyone to know. Maybe not everyone had seen him before. So,
Also, they say you can't, I can't see like who the victim is. The face is all destroyed. I don't know if they didn't tell this man, but when he was acting like trying to lift his wife like corpse, he pulled the fucking like sheet off and
mhm.
like her face is fine. Just like they smeared like a little bit of blood and like, did you forget how your own corpse is supposed to look for your show?
Maybe. Well, maybe they didn't have a big budget, so you can just leave the title
The big budget, all you need to do
in
is
the
put
chat so people
somebody,
won't watch it and
you
want to.
just throw like fake blood and put a stake on somebody's face and that's it. That would have been better than just like, oh, her face is unrecognizable. Lift the sheet. She's perfectly fine. Don't pay attention to that. She's unrecognizable. So, with after that, that was a single episode. That was just one.
What's the title?
Voice.
So, whoever is watching us, don't watch The Voice. I feel like that's
It's
what
just
you're
that
trying to tell
people
us.
were saying that it was like a good Korean thriller. Like I have
Hmm.
seen. I started before I even knew K-pop. I started watching Korean thrillers, and that shit is the best out of like every fucking country. Their thrillers
Hmm.
are fucking amazing. Well, I don't know what the fuck this is, or who paid for this, or if this is like the equivalent of like a daytime TV.
Maybe.
That it is famous, but it's not good.
Mm.
So I'm hoping it's that because it's not good. Maybe second season gets better. I don't know. I don't know. And
I
I
don't think
finished.
I don't think you should check.
I don't know. And again, I rage watched an entire TV show. Maybe I could just clown this one. I don't know.
Why?
I also finished watching. What's the English title? Money Heist.
Oh, got it. I'm 2 and something seasons in, so don't spoil me.
No,
I'm
it
at
was
the
okay.
I'm at the first ending. when
I don't
they
know.
what?
I don't know like at what point, but it's just I don't know. By the end of it, I felt like a little bit detached from the characters. So like,
That's what I'm scared about. I feel like they knew what they want to do with like the first half, like the first half, and then like after they actually robbed the
like
bank.
I think halfway through, it feels like they're building on top of everything. Pretty much every season that like gets back to like the same
Mhm.
heist,
Mhm.
it feels like they're building upon
Mhm.
everything. So it's just like, oh, but you didn't see this. This is what actually happened, and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
okay,
So
I'm gonna believe that, but
these are the
mm.
missing scenes. Yeah, this is the missing conversations that you've never got. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like
And
how to get away with murder.
exactly. So
Similar concept.
it's just like overlaying a lot of stuff, but it's fine. It's entertaining. It's good. It's well acted. It's just that every single fucking season of the Money Heist, the heterosexuals get on my nerves.
I'm fine with them.
They get obnoxious. So
I was
really
on the
obnoxious.
elevator today with a couple, and the guy had a baby in the stroller, and the girl was carrying the trash because we don't have a trash chute. We need to throw it out outside. Sorry. So basically, they literally started fighting in front of me, and I was like, I don't know why I am a part of this conversation. What the fuck are you doing?
I would like to be
Basically, she
removed
was,
from this.
yeah, she was basically, and I live like very high up, so like I had to listen to them for a long time. She was basically like, "You're only like, you're constantly on your computer, la la la. I mean, you're only looking at screens and never pay attention to me." And I was like, please remove me from this conversation. Okay, so Diane wrote something. It's conjunctivitis in English too. So okay, I guess it's about your teeth. I've had teeth pulled 4 times to were not baby teeth, and they came with just a wiggle. Oof, no.
Mm.
Uh,
And just because like I don't know to get in the mood, just like last time, I was rewatching some episodes of Strangers from Hell, and nothing
yeah,
like watching a psychopathic dentist pulling teeth without anesthetic before going to the dentist to
you
get
should have
your
done it.
teeth removed.
Should
Fun
we
times.
start with killing me?
Yeah.
I think it's time. It's the last 2 episodes of season 2, so the finale, and the finales are actually also pretty good on the show. Um, we already talked about Hannibal finales and how we love them. So basically, it starts where it ends, sort of, because Villanelle came home with 2 other ladies, and Eve comes to her place, which is interesting, by the way. Who pays for this place? Is it is Villanelle paying for herself with her own money? Is it MI6? Is it you think so?
Yeah. Um, I also love that there is a bed in the middle of the room, but apparently there is another bedroom. So what is the bed in the middle for?
Yeah, yeah, I didn't think about
Unless they
that.
were like in the bathroom or something. That,
Maybe,
but the
maybe
bed
in the
was like
shower or
perfectly made
something.
or something.
I think maybe they were in the shower because it wouldn't make sense to have 2 bedrooms in a studio. Like it's weird.
It's just that, like the bed was weird in the middle of the room. I would never be able to like sleep in the middle of a room. I need a corner.
Mhm. I mean, if you're not scared of anything, as in like you're a badass serial killer, I guess you're not scared of anything, uh, including sleeping
Is
in the
it?
middle of the room.
But isn't Villanelle like scared of ghosts?
Scared of ghosts? Why do you think that?
She said that in an episode.
Did
In
she?
the in the like very disturbing like the second one or something. The when she's like stuck with that creep.
Maybe she said that. on
That
purpose or
she said
something.
like,
She's just
I'm
playing a
scared of.
role.
She thought that the old lady with dementia was a ghost, and she was
Oh,
going to like hit her. It's like, oh
I
my god, I
mean,
thought it was a ghost.
I don't think
I
it's
don't know if she
serious.
was playing, but I would
I
believe
don't think it's
that out
serious.
of everything, she would be scared of ghosts. She's likely to like do that. So fun times.
Maybe. I don't know. So basically, Eve comes to her place. They start talking about the case. Oh, first, Villanelle hears her door ringing, and she comes down and she sees a present from Aaron. Present. I was like, "Is this your present?" He literally gave her a dictionary.
It was the book
Psychology something on psychology.
philosophy. It was the book that she
Philosophy, yeah.
used to like smack him. I'm
Yeah,
surprised that motherfucker didn't have the thing cast into like bronze or something.
yeah. So
It was the book that hit him.
he gives her that, or leaves on her sidewalk. And it says something, come to dinner with me, something like that. Basically, he asks her on a date. She takes the book and reads it in her bed. Can we talk about the fact that her bed has mirrors around it? And
For a
how
better
it's
shows.
like incredibly narcissistic of her, because we know
On
why she
character.
has
Very
it.
good.
Yeah. So she reads it, and then Eve comes over, and they start talking about the case, and she tells her that so Aaron basically invited me, and I think we're still in the game, which is good, obviously for both of them. And then when Eve is really funny in this scene. She's basically like really exhausted. She can't even pull her clothing down, as in like her outer
Her coat.
clothing. Yeah, her coat. And she's like really frustrated and really like in character, as in like she looks very fumbly, very like all over the place, very like, you know, kind of her office self. And she like plops down on the bed, and Villanelle immediately is like alert. She's like, something is happening. She's like, you can tell me anything, or if you're going to tell me, like, it's going to be easier for you. Like, why you're so frustrated? And they start like talking a little, and then one of the girls comes out, I guess, out of the bathroom, and it's something basically. The girl is like, thanks for something. I mean, she says something. I'm going to go, and then she's like, thanks for, and Eleanor is like, thanks for what?
The sex?
It was so, man. Um. Also, Villanelle's kimonos stay unchanged and stay fabulous. So um one girl slips out of the her apartment, and Eve immediately, like, she was relaxing into the conversation, she immediately stands. She's like, no. And it was so funny to me because she's constantly trying to tell that she's not romantically attracted, but
Man.
she's immediately jealous. And then there's another girl. I think the comedic uh I love what I love about the show is the comedic relief. It's not all hardcore drama. I can't watch shows that are hardcore dramas and that don't have any comedic relief. That's why I love it, and the same goes for Hannibal. And the other girl is like, "Yeah, thanks for everything. Bye." And Eve is immediately like, "Are we expecting anyone else? I mean, is there a third person out there?" And Willow perfect, like she knows how many people she has in her bed, in her shower, I guess. Um, and she's like, I don't know, I don't think so. Like playing coy with it.
I just love that. Is anybody else here? It would have been so fucking funny if the third person walked out. It would have
Yeah,
been the fucking
yeah. That guy, that guy that was serving her meat and something. That's
yeah,
the only other person that was in this scene, so it
would
makes
have been
sense.
funny.
So Eve immediately is like put together. She doesn't play around. They're not friends. They're colleagues. She immediately puts all her walls up, and they talk about Villanelle going to the date. I don't know if it's actually a date with Aaron, and Eve is kind of like, I'm relying on you, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not the most important conversation. I think she also visits Constantine and Carolyn at some point and talks about the case. Maybe it was after Aaron's and Villanelle's meeting, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
She shows up to like a restaurant that is completely closed off, very fancy one. Sits down and the waiter brings a plate. It's just like, oh, very presumptuous of you to like order for me. And
yeah,
he's like, eat it. They make it 1 week at a year. It's good.
yeah,
Eat it.
yeah.
And
Thing is, what I loved about what I love about the scene, I'm gonna be short. What I love about the scene is that it's a frequent trope in romantic movies. A guy renting the whole restaurant or the whole like something for a girl, and I loved how the show challenged that and kind of showed how psychotic
creepy,
and creepy it is when a guy
controlling.
literally rents everything and is like doesn't want anyone to see with him, or, you know. So it's kind of an interesting parallel that they brought this detail
Yeah.
over. You wanted to say
I
something?
I just yeah, I just first of all that pasta really did look good.
Yeah,
Delicious eating. Hmm. I'll see if I can find something like it. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find like the exact recipe, but at least like how to make like the pasta that is like very thick. Um, it looked very good. But yeah, it's just like with him, they're showing you how like creepy some things are, and he has I think like these 2 episodes they openly show you that he has a thing for watching, not
yeah.
just like controlling everything. Like he likes
Mhm.
watching her eat, sleep,
Mhm.
walk,
Mhm. Mhm.
and she's impressed by how I think
Cook
at certain
bananas.
I think that to a certain degree she is impressed by how he has like the full confidence to exert his power over somebody.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is interesting.
Mhm.
And he also like appeals to her expensive taste.
Mhm.
Um, mm, I would say that maybe if she hadn't met Eve, she would have been around this guy, but I don't think so because he really is obnoxious and she does not like being controlled.
Yeah.
But even like no matter how like tempting it was for her to like get offered um that she like he could pay for everything and like give her
Mhm.
everything that she
Mhm.
wants and like buy everything.
Mhm.
It was a little bit tempting, but it's just like she doesn't need anybody for that. She can just do it herself.
Yeah. Thing is, Villanelle's love for money is known. Like we
Yeah,
know that she loves
she
cash.
has an expensive taste.
And yeah, and we know that in season 3 she actually shows us other ways that she can get money, not just by killing people. I mean she can use her other talents, so to speak. Uh, I mean she's very charming, for example. So she could have married someone rich. Like it's not. It's
Yeah,
just she doesn't want to be controlled. That's the other issue. I really like the conversation that they have in the restaurant because he's trying to suss her out and see why she made friends with his sister, and is pretty confident that she's one of the like you know sugar baby type girls.
yeah,
So that she's looking for finances, and but he's still like he doesn't know what's so special about her yet, but he feels that something like is wrong. And the same goes to her because they accept like trying to suss each other out and see like they both feel like the other one is weird, and they're trying to figure out
In
is
what
this
way?
thing, yeah, in what way, and if this thing is similar, as in like are we the same or not.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a duel without, you know, weapons. And she allows him, like she could have, I don't know, drop kicked him, I don't know, screamed at him, made a fuss, made a scene. But she allows him to lead, sort of, in this conversation, and allows him like to order for her and to do things for her that she doesn't really want to do, because when she finishes the first plate she says, oh, I'm stuffed, like I literally cannot eat anymore. And then he orders a second batch, and she's like, and she continues to eat it, so she's like allowing him to leave.
It
But
I think like this entire like interaction between them, it reminded me a lot of like that phrase that they used on Hannibal that said, I just wanted to like know what would happen.
yeah.
Like she's like we they already established that she like gets bored all the time and she is needs like a constant entertainment of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's just going along with this because she wants to like know like what is this freak going to do.
Yeah.
She also like of course like is playing she's doing her job
Mm-hmm.
and she's doing it for Eve, but
Mm-hmm.
still I think she did have like a curiosity like what is this
Yeah.
motherfucker going to do if
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
obey.
Yeah. That was pretty clear that she's actually interested in him. It's not just because of the case, it's because she actually genuinely interested.
They treated
So
each other like science projects. They were just
yeah,
like poking and
they're like
prodding and
two
investigating each
predators.
other.
Yeah, they're like two predators of different species. So they're literally like don't know who's stronger, who's gonna do what. You know, how do you
Yeah.
feed? How do you hunt? Like they're literally trying to figure this out. And also, I just love how her wardrobe for Billy is something that she'd never wear as herself.
It's a very like strange choice of like colors and textures, like very
Mhm,
weird. I don't think I
mhm.
have ever seen anybody dressed like that.
Yeah, it's kind of special. Let's say that.
It's very particular. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, the wig is very good,
yeah.
but still, it does
You
kind
can
of look
tell
like
it's
a
a wig.
wig.
It's a wig.
So I love that.
Yeah.
Also, like Aaron never questioned that. That is just like, ma'am, are you
I
like
think
wearing
he
something?
knows. I think he
Probably.
knows.
He just
I
didn't
think
care.
he's just waiting for her to show her true colors in a way.
Yeah.
So he invites her to Rome, and she openly rejects him. She's like, "I'm not going to sleep with you," and he actually doesn't want to sleep with her. I think his thing is not like he's not sleeping with his objects, because they talk later about their obsessions. Um, he just wants to watch them and murder them at the end. So she agrees to come. She's pretty happy about this because, you know, the case is moving forward. And then we get a scene with Eve, Constantine, and Carolyn. Uh, they're talking about Villanelle and how she deals with, like, how she's dealing with Aaron. And uh, we are told that Eve should have been listening to their conversation and she didn't, which is interesting. Also, we get a scene of a very fun scene of Eve constantly calling Villanelle
Yes.
and asking her if she's alright. And it was fun. I really love this one.
It was like I don't know, like 5 messages and like 9 missing
Yeah,
calls.
yeah,
So,
that's a lot.
oh man, but you're totally not interested in her, of
No,
course. No, no,
gosh,
no.
no, obviously. So when Villanelle comes back home and she starts listening to this uh, um, voicemails, it's interesting that at first, when she hears the first voicemail, she's like, "That's weird." Like her face says, "That's weird." Like, why would you do that? And then
It's
as
just
she
that,
goes further and listens more and more, she's like,
ah, it's just that line, like, "Oh, just calling to make sure like you were not murdered or something." And Villanelle is just like, "What?"
Yeah, she's
And
like, why would I be murdered? That's me.
I love her faces. Like her facial expressions are delightful.
Hmm.
But she was totally not worried. Nee, it's just a professional courtesy to make sure she's okay. I think I don't know if it's like in this instance or another one. Yeah, that Kenny tries to like reach out to Eve, tell her not to go to Rome because Aaron Peel invited Billy to Rome with him.
Hmm.
Where he's
Yeah,
going to do like the sale of his weapon or something. Oh my god.
yeah. So everyone is energized and galvanized, and like the case is moving forward, and everyone is kind of like many people at least are telling Eve that Villanelle kind of found her match in Aaron and like
Yeah.
something is gonna happen to them. And it immediately kind of makes her uneasy, which is obviously fun. Um, she also has this conversation with that psych psychiatrist, like that guy that is an expert on
Oh yeah.
psychopath.
But before that, I forgot like to mention something that I really liked about her conversation with Carolyn. It's just
Hmm.
that oh my god, something got in my head, and it's that she asks, "How is Villanelle doing? Any attention seeking, reckless behavior?"
Yeah,
And she's like, "No, she's fine." And she's like, "And what about you? Any
yeah,
excessive attention seeking?" She's
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
Carolyn, it's been like for a little while putting Eve with the same like
Yeah,
attention
yeah.
that and I just love that she's putting them in the same box.
Mhm.
I love Carolyn. I adore that character. Is the best.
Yeah, I
Um
think she.
so Kenny tries to like prevent her from going and she still of course she's going to go anyway.
Mhm.
And she goes to see like the guy at the it's a psychiatric ward, I think.
Yeah. She expects, like, she's waiting for the guy to come,
Yeah.
and some other guy sits down with her and starts talking to her and flirting with her. And the psychiatrist comes and I guess some other people and take this guy away that came on to her.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, this guy killed many women or something. Like he's a
Yeah, he killed
murderer."
3 women.
Yeah, and she's like, "Well, he's still hot. Like,
He could,
still give
yeah, he
him."
could murder the shit out of me. And
Yeah,
the man is so concerned. And
yeah.
she's like, well,
She attracts them. She does.
oh god. She has the serial killer king. I am afraid for her. At
Yeah,
this point, this is a pattern, ma'am.
yeah. And so they start talking about Villanelle. We get sort of a similar conversation that Will had with Bedelia. Um, Sort of a third party conversation, like a conversation with a third party about their favorite psychopath.
Yeah.
And basically, um, Eve just pours it over, like she tells everything. Uh,
It's so strange to have a patient that straightforward tells you everything.
yeah, yeah.
It's very
He
interesting.
doesn't even need to coax her, like, and convince her that she has to tell him stuff, or
And
like
it always
figure out sneaky ways.
Yeah, and it always happens. Like people come to like, oh, I need to like talk to you about my boyfriend, my husband, my son, my cousin, my mother, my everything. And they end up just like, oh no, I don't need therapy. I'm just talking about them. They're like, sure,
Mm-hmm.
sure, sure. And how do you feel? And it's just it's easier for people to think they can just like approach you and like as the famous, oh, it's a friend of a friend. It happened to a friend of a friend. And in this case, I really like the silence of the psychiatrist because he's like impressed, but like he's used to he's very professional. I really liked his character.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very, he looks the exact amount of exhausted that a
Mm-hmm.
person should look like when they work at a place like that. And she really, it's a moment of self-awareness, but again, it's not. It's just like when somebody finally admits that they have a problem, but they're like, yes, I do, I recognize I have a problem, I'm not going to change it though,
Yeah,
so good
yeah,
day.
yeah, 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 yeah,
So she's like, yeah, I think about her every day,
yeah.
most of the time. And do you feel safe? No.
But I'm fine with
uh,
that.
I'm fine with that, I'm cool with that. And how do you feel? Wide awake. I saw somewhere, I will try to find it and send it to you. I saw somewhere an edit on Tumblr that I think the wide awake part was also on Hannibal.
Yeah.
And
I
I
feel
can't, and there's a
I feel
there
we
is a third
can.
show.
I feel the most myself when I'm with him, something like that. I think that's
Yeah.
the two quotes that are compared.
I kind of want to watch Hannibal again, but I need to stop repeating shows.
Stop it.
But then again, I start watching new shows and I get this kind of shit.
I mean, it's not.
Sad.
It's not. It's not an argument. It's not a good argument, at least.
Well, then
Uh,
again, I am watching some other good shows
yeah.
inside.
So basically, Eve is kind of confessing that she's has a crush on Villanelle. She's obsessed with her. She kind of wants to be her and with her, and she doesn't see a problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And the guy recommends her to not go on this mission, but she completely bulldozes over him and ignores him.
Because she was really not going there to ask.
A
She's,
permission, yeah.
yeah, no, but she has such a strange, like, she has her foot on the, like, the gas pedal and the brakes at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes she lets one of them go a little bit, but she's constantly
Mm-hmm.
like stuck there
Mm-hmm.
where she knows she's attracted to her. She knows she feels something for her. She knows she does have a little bit of a violent tendency herself. She
Mm-hmm.
knows she's a little touch too similar to Villanelle in some aspects. She relates to her quite a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but she's constantly trying to stop this. And
Well,
like,
I mean,
it's
you always presume that it's so easy. Like, when we talked about Hannibal, you were always the same way. You're like, okay, so they have attached darkness then. Why not dive in? Obviously, because we're socialized in a way, and like we're real people, not like they're trying to show you a real person. No one would do this.
yes,
That's
I
why.
I just find it I don't know. Maybe I don't know how to explain it. Like I understand that, but if you've gone that far,
I mean, she didn't kill anyone, so yeah.
no, but like if she has gone as far as to fully admit to herself and to other people her obsession, and that it's just like she's constantly doing stuff and then immediately beats herself over it for it.
Yes, but also she didn't sort of. There's a point of no return. I don't think she reached it yet.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
like I get this. Also, the whole we were talking for real about the romantic aspect of their relationship. Yes, she's attracted to her. It's obvious. I think it's obvious for her. She just doesn't want to admit it to herself. But the thing is, she can't really be in this relationship
Yeah,
without being okay with Villanelle murdering people. So that's like the crux of the issue. If we're being completely honest, they do resolve it in the third season. But I mean, we're not going to spoil the third season. So basically, what happens? She's like, "No, absolutely no. I'm going to this mission." She doesn't want to take Kenny with her. She wants to take. She wants to go with
Hugo.
his name Hugo. I want to say Henry for some reason. I think it's because of the age.
He does have more a Henry
Hugo.
face.
Yeah, Hugo is a weird name. It's kind of oldish.
It sounds even like it sounds kind of like me. in Spanish as well.
Mm.
So it's, I don't know, and it's, I think it's like a very meh name, very, yeah, very old, but kind of like eh. And
Never met a Hugo.
I've met, but like, wait, how the fuck did this get tangled? And like I had a few friends, I think, along, we were like what, three? But usually, like, like they have two names, so they barely use like
Mm.
Hugo. So it's just like Alejandro,
Hugo,
no, Hugo Alejandro.
Hugo.
So it's just, they just use like Alejandro instead of like Hugo.
Hugo is like
Kind of,
an urchin boy from a Dickensian novel. Like,
yeah.
like some. Okay,
Also, the actor
so
has like a very odd face. Like he looks, I don't know. That is, maybe that sounds really mean.
no, he's very. He's a very unusual face for an
Yeah,
actor, I would say. Usually, like, but that's something that is common with British actors. They all have personality faces. They
yeah,
call them personality faces. They're not all the same. Like with American actors, they're all the same.
yeah.
Um,
Because they kind of look like the conventionally attractive person.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I like him as an actor. I've seen him. I've told you I've seen him in other shows. So basically, what happens is that she takes Hugo with him. They're told that they're going to be living near Villanelles and Aaron's hotel, but like in a significantly shittier place, which was funny because they were showing the two like close to each
Yeah.
other, and they get two different rooms, but they decide that they're going to put the tag in Hugo's room. Apparently, I think. Um, what else? Villanelle comes into her own room. It's very like spacious, huge,
It's
very
very
like
beautiful.
Renaissance like, and the she sees all the clothing on the bed. So that's basically the clothing that Aaron bought for her and that he wants her to wear. So many red flags. Anyway, they gave Villanelle a bug so she can plant it on herself, so they could hear her. And he takes something, I don't remember. A pill.
Yeah, they gave her
Yeah,
like the microphone and like the contraceptive pill, like box, but
yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
like too many of the
yeah,
same. And but she doesn't get her bag. Like they took her suitcase away with all her things and everything in
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And the lady just answers so naturally, like, "Oh, you have everything you need here." Like, well,
yeah,
yeah, but my things, we you will have it back when you leave. She's like, "Ma'am, give her the stuff." And she's like, "Oh yeah, but I need like my pill." And she's like, "You won't need that here." And just goes. And she's like, "Well, fine." And so Eve eventually figures out that they that she doesn't have the mic on, so she ventures out to try to find a way to give Villanelle another microphone. And oh my
I
god, she is
mean,
the worst spy. I
she
love
just
her.
wanted to see her.
Of
Let's be
course.
honest. And like Hugo's faces are my faces throughout these two episodes. He's
Yeah,
like,
right.
just admit it. You just want to see her. Um, yeah, and she gives her a microphone in the bread, or yeah, something.
Yeah,
So basically,
it's a little loaf of bread that she puts in her
yeah,
purse.
yeah. The loaf of bread actually looks so yummy.
Yeah.
Every single time I look at it, I'm like, I want to bite into it. It's so pretty. It looks like a little like a big mochi, but bread like. So basically, Villanelle takes it. We get like a look between them, and when she comes back,
The
we
hands
see
touching. Like
yeah.
she grabs her hand when she grabs the bun.
I've seen so many gifs of that. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, we figure out later that Aaron watches her because when they come back from dinner, he starts watching her literally, and he's like wondering aloud what's wrong with her, like who she is, because he can't figure her out, and basically that's why he's obsessed with her. Um, because he knows everyone. Like the thing is, like he likes to watch people, and a lot of the things surrounding him as a character are about watching people. So this weapon
He's
that
delighted
he
to have
created,
like a mystery to
yeah,
unravel.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm so sorry, but that scene reminded me so much of Edward and Bella because he can read everybody's minds all the
Ah,
time,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
he was
yeah,
attracted to Bella immediately because he couldn't read her mind,
yeah, yeah.
and just like you're a mystery to me.
I mean,
It
it makes
immediately reminded me
sense.
of that.
It makes sense because we are as human beings attracted to mystery.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we wouldn't go like we wouldn't go around the house in the night trying to figure out what was the noise. It's like a natural reaction apparently for a human. So makes sense. So basically, I think she either is like she's not aware yet that he's tracing her, as in like that he's watching her,
yeah,
but I think she has suspicions, so that's why she's trying to do this very in a very sneaky way. She finally makes the microphone work, switches it on.
yeah. And she began singing as
Yeah,
she is like he was very curious because she's doing something with her back to the screen, and
yeah,
he turns the
yeah,
screen and she's just like casually eating bread. She's like,
yeah,
okay, hmm.
yeah, yeah,
That little sound of he makes every time he's pleased to see her eat. It's so weird. Uh,
yeah.
I get it. It's a thing that people like watching other people eat. That's what
It's
that
really
thing
weird.
mukbang exists.
It's super weird to me. So basically, that happens,
Yeah.
and I guess this is the end of the episode. I don't remember anything else
Um,
that has
let me
happened
check.
in this episode. Yeah.
In my also very useful notes. The outfits, yeah. Love my notes. Sometimes it's just like, oh my god, the hands touching, and oh my god, the outfits.
The
Super
outfits
intellectual
are
notes.
pretty good.
Yes.
I mean, at
Um,
some point, what's his name? What's his face? Eve's husband wakes up.
Nico.
Yeah, Nico, in a massacre. Literally, that girl, that annoying
But is
girl.
that on this
Yeah,
episode or the next one?
I'm not sure, but I wanted to mention
Um,
it early because I don't care.
yeah, yeah. It wasn't in this episode that Nico is moving some stuff to like a storage unit. They made it like a very kind of like horror movie scene. I like that. And that outfit that Villanelle had on that scene was very good.
Mm-hmm.
The plaid shirt and like pants. They were
Plaid
also
pants.
patterned.
Yeah, they were
Lovely.
both plaid but different color.
And
Um,
she like Gemma is very obnoxious, but poor girl.
I don't care for her.
Eh, and because she should have like gotten slapped at worst probably, but eh. Then she
It
threatens.
was end of season 7. Yes, episode 7. Can't believe she just straight up murdered Gemma. Who cares about Gemma? Are we trying to pretend that we care about Gemma right now?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to cover up and pretend that I do have human feelings and I feel sorry for this
I
woman.
mean, I don't know. She was just a character that was introduced to us for a couple of episodes. I'm
Yeah.
not especially attached to her. She was also a bit of a cunt,
Oh my god.
and I don't care.
Uh, the
Is
bane of
this
my
is this
existence,
my villain origin story?
probably. What else? So she asks for the recipe to the
Shepherd,
shepherd's pie,
shepherd's pie. The
and sits
funniest part of the
down.
day.
Then she's like, "Oh yeah, okay, that's it. Really? No, of course not. Sit down." And she's talking to Nico, and she's like, "Oh, do you love her?" And he's like, "No." And Demas was like,
They know.
uh, then she asks if he still loves Eve, and I still have the question: did he answer that he still loves Eve because he actually does, or just because he wanted to spite
I think he
Villanelle?
didn't know what's the right answer is. Like it was very apparent from his face that he was very nervous, very
Yeah,
scared, and didn't know. And he was trying to find the answer that is going to satisfy Villanelle. Thing is, their fates were set in stone already. Villanelle knew what she's going to do coming into this barrage. Um,
yeah.
Jim wasn't the best, but now Nico's invested in Villanelle and Eve again. Is not. Or did he die? I don't know. He didn't die. Spoiler alert. Um,
No,
he didn't die.
no, not
Uh,
yet.
he didn't die. He just lost his second wife. I
Oh my god, I can't
you
imagine
bet
being married to her.
you bet that if Gemma was like remained alive, he'd marry her in 2 weeks. Like that would be a
I
thing
just
that.
broke the thread. I
Also,
am
they would have
multitasking.
kids in
Sorry.
6 months. I said they would have kids in 6 months. As if you can have kids in 6 months.
They could hurry it up, okay? Somehow.
I
Oh
mean,
my
they
god.
would have kids very fast too.
So,
And they
uh,
would be, and like their favorite type of conversation would be like, Eve is such a failure. She couldn't even give him kids. She was not a proper wife, something like that. Like, you know that.
yeah, she would be that obnoxious mom that is so like, oh my god, nobody knows, but children are such a blessing. And I
Mhm.
can stand mine, and they're with nannies all the time. But children are such a blessing.
Yeah,
And like judging everybody. Oh my god, if you don't have children, your life is not complete. I just know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so well, she's dead now. And I really like that scene where he wakes up. It
Mm-hmm.
was very horror movie like, and it
Mm-hmm.
reminded me a lot like Black Christmas. It was fun. It looks very creepy. Also, how long was he locked inside with that corpse?
Who knows?
Because that sounds disgusting to me, like being locked up for a long time with a corpse. Ew.
It
But I don't
smells
think he was
horrible.
there more than what, a few days.
It smells like shit from
Literally, there would be shit.
shit.
Yeah. So kind of gross. Looks very creepy. They chose they chose the clear plastic bag for a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I mean, we had to see that it's her.
we would tell with the obnoxious dresses and the push-up bras,
Sure, sure, sure.
but yeah. So it's just like very good scene, and he's traumatized now. Where are my sisters? And I think that is the end of the episode. He wakes up, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I
what else?
mean, that's basically what happened in
Oh, I
episode
saw.
8.
I
Oh, no.
I did. That's why there was a note about the outfits. There is a moment where they're talking, where Aaron is telling Villanelle that like she's such a mystery and whatnot and everything. They chose the outfits and the difference between them. Like they're talking of, don't you want to like sleep with people, experiment things?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, and like I do all the time. So it's just they are showing each other like how different they are, and they did the subtle little like fire and ice type of thing. Like he's dressed in blue, she's dressed in red.
Mm,
It was a
I
very
didn't
good like
notice.
shot.
Didn't notice that.
Um,
I love the shot at the start where
oh
Eve
my god.
comes to Villanelle's apartment and she looks at herself in all the mirrors.
Yeah, I love the
The
camera work in the show.
cinematography.
It's
Yeah.
very pretty.
Episode 8?
Um. So what else? And we skipped the little part of the not phone sex, but like with a microphone.
No.
We did. It's from
Yeah.
the seventh episode. Yes.
Is it? How could we? How could we? I'm trying to like hurry us up to this moment, and I'm like, it's in episode 8, right?
No, it was
Right?
episode
In
7.
episode.
Um, where Villanelle lies down and starts talking very softly, and it's very late, and Eve is still listening. She somehow knows Eve is still listening, and they have a thing.
It's basically an encounter of um of a cardinal quality. They basically
I
do.
I
They
find it so
without
funny.
touching each other, they basically do the do.
Yes,
And it's funny to me that it's not the first thing we see Eve being, you know,
very horny
yeah,
about her.
about something Villanelle does. And it's also not the
It's been
first time
it's
she
been like
uses
3 times
someone
this season.
else. Yeah, it's not the first time she uses someone else as a replacement, basically.
Yeah,
To just she doesn't care about this person. She just needs to have someone right now.
yeah.
And this time it is Hugo who's like he doesn't mind. He's been waiting for this apparently. Hugo is such a third wheel despite being the one putting it. Yes, yes. Like he's literally not important, and he's like so flattered. He's like sleeping, like they're talking to each other. He's sleeping, and she literally just undresses and dives inside the covers. And he's like, finally,
I love that he just wakes up and he's just like, oh, okay, oh, all right, this is what we're doing now.
let's go.
And and I love that how clearly they show Eve's annoyance
Mm-hmm.
when he's like, she wakes up to the sound of Villanelle talking to her,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like very happy and very cozy and just like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, like this in bed. And then Hugo speaks, and she's like
Uh-huh.
immediately annoyed. She
Mm-hmm.
gets up, like, I'm not staying for this. Good
She's
day.
immediately harpy. And she's like, bring us some coffee. And
I love her.
he's like, I mean, he's a very no stress type of character. You know, the type of character that is like he doesn't take anything seriously,
Yeah.
and he's kind of miffed that she just like
Used him?
used him.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is interesting because I won't say that he has feelings for her. You know.
I guess it was like the first time because my God, he was literally used like just a dick attached to something. And like, I think it hurt his ego to know how
Mm-hmm.
little he mattered in this whole interaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. Probably it's the first time it happens to him, I guess, or that
Mm-hmm.
he knows about it. And also, it's just like the confirmation of what he already knew about Eve and Villanelle.
Mm-hmm.
And what else happens in the episode? Oh my God, I just tapped myself. Um,
I kind of felt bad for him because that was still very rough dismissal. Yeah, it was very rude.
yeah,
I don't know if he has feelings, but damn, she was rude. Yeah, I don't think he has feelings. I think he didn't expect. Like, I think he felt that they have some kind of chemistry, and he was like, it's gonna happen someday. And when it happened, it didn't happen because of the reasons he thought it happened. So
yeah,
maybe it kind of bruised his ego a little bit.
yeah,
He does go to get some coffee, and shit happens. Shit bang. Um, Someone is in the building. And I think this is actually episode 8.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Yeah, the end of the episode, like 7, is Nico waking up with the corpse of Gemma.
Yeah, so basically, she immediately feels like someone harmed him or like stabbed him, something happened. And she looks into the viewfinder. Is it called viewfinder? Like this thingy on the door?
Uh, I can remember.
The eye something?
Peephole?
People?
Something?
Yeah.
Sounds weird.
Uh, yeah, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, but
So,
the fucking hole in the door. And
yeah, she looks into it,
the
and I'm upset that we didn't see what's on the other side.
yeah,
And I think we saw what's on the other side.
no, we didn't. She tries to like hide quickly and gets under
Yeah.
the bed.
You know what I thought about when I watched this scene? I was like, we constantly watch scenes like that where a person is attacked by someone and they have to hide in their house. And we're so used to it that it doesn't seem very stressful or, tense. But when you imagine yourself in this situation, the stress is real.
Yeah,
Like, it kind of is not taken seriously, I think, because it's overused in comedies also, and like we're not taking it as a sign of danger or something. So it kind of didn't feel very stressful. But then I looked at Sandra Oh's face, and she really played it up as something that is so, earth shattering, like very, very stressful. So she hides under the bed, which is kind of the only choice that she had, honestly, but it's not
yeah.
the best choice. Like, with so many movies that I've seen where a person just drags someone
I'm
out of the
pretty
bed, like
sure.
from
Yeah,
under the
I'm
bed,
pretty sure if like somebody breaks into a house, wouldn't it be like the first part you check in a room,
under the bed.
under the bed, and the closets? It's just
Yeah,
like the easiest.
yeah, same.
So the guy gets called out before he like checks the room more thoroughly, and he leaves. So
Hmm.
she kind of like waddles out, and I don't know if this was before or after.
But Villanelle figures out that Aaron is
Is
watching people, and then he murders them.
Yeah, because at first I was she sneaks into his office and she's looking through like the
Files.
touchscreen,
Hmm.
and I saw like I never noticed the first time. I didn't remember that scene actually. I don't remember he was like an actual serial killer, and
Hmm.
that they were like file names
Of
of a
women.
lot of women. Like there
Yeah.
were at least about like what 10 or something
Yeah, 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 on the screen.
on the panel. So she clicks on another one and sees a woman sleeping on the same bed that she was sleeping in the same room,
Hmm.
and just after realizing that he was like recording her, and the woman wakes up and he's just like slits her throat, I think,
Yeah, he murders
and
her.
leaves her to bleed out. So she's even more intrigued because at up to that point it didn't seem like he was a very hands-on killer, or
Yeah.
like he was just creepy and weird, but not like
Hmm.
this exact same kind of weird.
Hmm.
Um,
He
then
also shows her. They also go to this meeting with these two Russian guys to whom they're trying to sell the weapon. The weapon is basically this app, I guess, that tracks everything the person is doing and can tell you like all the dirty things that like they have behind them. So like who the person is sleeping with, whom they're calling, what they like, what they're watching on the internet, uh, all their where they were at certain moments of the day, etc. And basically, she's like, okay, so now I get what is going on. And he tells her that there is a second buyer. The second buyer that is going to come is her handler,
Raymond.
Raymond. Yeah. So she is visibly worried. Like, that's one of the first, like, we don't see her worried often, but she's really scared of Raymond.
And so she says the safe word that was like
Yeah,
gentleman.
gentleman.
And Eve immediately goes like, "Oh my god, I have to help her." That's
List.
when Hugo gets shot, and
Yeah.
she comes out of the room after the guy left, and Hugo's on the floor and like he was playing dead. And he was bleeding out on the carpet,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "Yes, but I gotta go, Villanelle."
Mm-hmm.
And that has to be rough. That somebody leaves you bleeding there, abandoned. And
Yeah, she literally sacrificed him. She's like,
yeah,
Villanelle is more important for me than you.
so
And
she's
he
like,
gets it. Like, he immediately got it.
immediately, yeah. And but I can't. Oh my god, I can imagine how scary that must be. To think like you're going to just like bleed out at a random hotel where nobody can help you. Uh, there is she runs down and like tries to get help at the front desk, but it's empty. So there's a guy coming, one of the killers, and she quickly gets behind the counter and does the best customer service voice.
She has some quick thinking, but
Yes.
also, like, can we talk about her calling to 911, failing, and literally leaving a note? It was so useless. Like, no one would find this guy.
She could have like said, "Oh my god, there's somebody hurt and on the street, like call for help or something."
My god, she straight up leaves Hugo dying for like half an episode. I was so stressed out for him the entire time. Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
he's not going to survive it. So
Oh,
basically, she tries to pretend that she actually works for the hotel because she sees this other guy in the camera, and she wanted to put on the maid uniform, but she she couldn't do it in time. So she pretends to be a receptionist, and the guy comes. Like, this is so funny to me because he's like, "Have you seen this like other guy that came inside your hotel?" And she's like, "No, it was very quiet. Like, there's no one here. Like, I have not seen anyone for a while." And it's like, he's like one of those like really regular dudes that you would not think is a serial killer. So it's
yeah.
interesting for me that he's like, "Okay, so what are you doing tonight?" And she's like, worried because she thinks he's still going to murder her. And he's like, do you want can I do you want to go to dinner with me? And I'm like, imagine how many actual criminals, actual like bad people are out there just asking people out right now, this moment.
Exactly. Oh my god, that is really creepy to think about. And but still, that scene was so funny. And I was just like, okay, guy, you go. He shoot her shot.
And her fake
So
smile, she's like, yeah, I live here.
yes. And do you like sushi? Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, because the emergency number in Rome isn't 901. Yeah. I love the scene with the henchman. This henchman was like, kill the people, go on a date with pretty Asian receptionist at sex. Just a normal day.
Just a normal
Yeah,
day.
he
Yes.
was like,
Very casual.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was just like, why not? Like, I also have to have like a work to life balance.
Love
Imagine
that
having a
scene.
work to life balance when you're an assassin.
It was a very nice scene to like break the tension a little bit.
Yeah,
Then she took
but I also like, I'm admiring her for quickly thinking of
yes,
solutions.
and also like appear like very calm and everything amazing. And she takes a page out of the ghost book
Look, yeah,
with the idea
just
of like,
like that.
hey, I am an older woman in my I'm an Asian older woman. There's
Yeah.
a uniform.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna look at me, and it
Mhm.
fucking worked. She
Yeah.
walked right past the guards at the front door, just carrying bags of like clothing and
Mhm.
saying it's just like it's just speaking in Korean and vaguely like a couple of
Yeah,
Italian
yeah,
words.
yeah, yeah. And they
Brilliant.
literally let her go. They're like, okay, well,
Sure, sure, ma'am.
looks like a housekeeper, sounds like a housekeeper. I'm pretty sure that like most European countries hire uh, I don't know, refugees and people that like are not maybe like came to the country a couple of years ago, etc. Like it's pretty common everywhere, I think, right now. So they were
Yeah.
like dismissing her, like she's not a threat.
Hmm.
Um, and she was smart for that. Like she like
Yeah.
was so quick, and we know that she doesn't have a lot of experience with the field work. So she comes, and I think she was like so uh, motivated because she knew that Villanelle is in danger. So she goes to this other hotel where Aaron and Villanelle are, and she takes a paper knife from his table and just barges into the dining room.
Yeah. And there's this moment where she's just like standing there. And the fucking Aaron, what he says is, does the MI6 really pay that badly?
Yeah,
That you are here to clean my house?
yeah,
And he's like, is that my letter opener?
yeah.
Like,
He's so
sir,
cash
yes.
about it. He's like not worried at all.
Hmm.
But I also
In the
think he
slightest.
kind of thought that Villanelle at this point is on his side. He doesn't really know about her connection to Eve. So he thinks, oh, so I'm weird and she's weird. Like I love watching people die and she loves killing people. So we're made for each other, literally. Like we match. And Villanelle is like, Eve, he's like, oh, you know each other. And he's like, things start clicking in order a little bit, but he still doesn't know how deep the connection goes, so he was unaware. And he starts convincing Villanelle that she has to work for him, and this way she'd be cared for, etc. Thing is, maybe she would have accepted this deal because that's literally being a private assassin, kind of, you know, murdering
She would
people for
have
him.
like the freedom to actually kill
But
whomever she wants
yeah,
as long as he
yeah,
can watch, and that he would protect her like with
yeah.
information. No police could get her because he could like buy the entire police with the information that he has. It was amazing. And
Yeah, it would be an amazing deal if he was not a control freak.
give me a second, I'm gonna answer this.
Yeah. So the problem is that he's a control freak, obviously, and it's not something that she's willing to deal with. She knows that it's not gonna get better. We saw like little glimpses of him not just controlling her clothing, but also controlling her behavior, as in like there were some candies, chocolates that he put in front of her on the table, and one of them was orange, and he is pissed off that she ate an orange chocolate, and she's like, well, I like it, so what's the problem? And he's like, I told them to take away, like to just sort all the orange chocolate away. uh there's also like a moment uh, where she wanted to go with him to dinner or something, to some kind of a meeting. And he was like, no, you're not going to go because you will be bored. And she's like, I like these meetings. And he's like, no, you will be bored. So she can't accept a person that is going to control every little thing in her life.
It's
So,
it's impressive, like from what she eats to what she wears to what
yeah,
she says to what she feels. It
yeah,
reminded me a lot of like a more straightforward, on the face, and a little less like meh than the guy from the movie Invisible Man. Do you watch the movie
not
Invisible
sure,
Man? It's a
not sure.
rich guy that is obsessed with like cameras, and he's very obsessed with his wife, and he controlled like everything about her, so she tries to escape. And it's a very good movie. She tries to escape, and she has like to make up like a plan to
Hmm.
escape. In just like I was late to the theater, and
Hmm.
in still I got just like I saw the man like 2 seconds, and I understood why she wanted to run.
Hmm.
And oh my god, give me a second.
So yeah, he's hyper controlling, but there is like a second there where you think she's going to choose him because she acts as if she's hesitating, and I think it's partly for his sake, as in like she wants to show that she's hesitating, like that she wants to choose him. And it's partly for Eve's sake, because she wants to see how Eve is going to act in this
Yeah.
scenario. And he's like, so like go on, kill her, as in like go kill Eve. And instead she murders him and lets him watch.
And he likes
He
it.
was kind of into it
He was.
there at the end for a second.
I
He was
gotta
like
admire.
almost smiling.
Yes, I have to admire the dedication to his own king that he smiles even when he's dying. Um, that's impressive, my guy. And
Yeah,
yeah, she was. I think it was more like one of those like I don't know, like loyalty tests or something. She
maybe.
wanted to
Yeah,
know if Eve would actually think she was going
yeah,
to kill him this time.
yeah.
If she would think like I'm going to actually stay with this man,
Hmm.
and I will try not to think too much about Villanelle just like grabbing him by the back of the hair, just like holding him up.
Yeah, I didn't find that especially exhilarating. It was actually
Yeah,
yuck for me.
no, because I was not thinking about him at all.
Oh, okay.
Just her like pulling hair.
Oh, got it. Mm,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
Eve immediately is pissed off, and I'm like, girl, she saved your life. She's immediately pissed off because you called, like, you said, uh, like, our code word, and Villanelle is like, I use gentleman so often in conversation. And, like, yeah, sure. Like, a few episodes ago, you said that you never use this word. And, and she's like, MI6 told you to not kill anyone. Like we're now in like a big trouble, and there are people like outside of the building that want our blood, etc., etc. And it's funny. Like honestly, I'm so weak for this trope. Basically, Eve is like complaining about all the danger they're in, and Villanelle is like shrugging it off and like, I'll deal with that. And I'm like,
oh yes, that
please,
confidence. Mm.
please, this is the best. It's like one of those. It's like the same in the same vein for me as um, when like a very dangerous character tells their love interest that they're going to deal with like a bad person for them, and like please, please do.
Yes.
Um, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, so she tells Villanelle, well, I mean, she tells Eve that they're going to like deal with that, that she's very confident in her skills and abilities. But she tells Eve to like stay close and like to not be stupid about it. Because Eve immediately, it's very much like 2 steps forward, 4 steps back. She's like,
Yes.
immediately scared, doesn't know what to do, is like super shaken. And
She's. I think. My God, fucking mosquito. Um. To this point, they get on my nerves. I think Eve was also struggling to quickly think of a way to like salvage the mission because again there is no guarantee that the I don't know MI6 wouldn't like pin this all on Villanelle and just like oh my god he died, it was this killer, we arrested her and she's done for. So she's trying to like salvage the mission by going back to the hotel and get the
mhm,
recording
mhm, mhm,
where Aaron like admitted everything that his weapon is and everything. So Villain is just like, okay, I'm gonna get a car. I will meet you back at the hotel in 5 minutes. You go. If you see anything scary, hide.
mhm. Don't
Don't
be
be stupid.
brave.
Yes, don't be brave.
Which
And
is basically what Hannibal said to Alana. I had a
exactly.
flashback.
Okay, I want to watch it again. So Eve goes back to the hotel and finds that everything is being like cleared out. Her note is gone. She goes upstairs. The carpet is clean. Hugo's not there. She goes into
Mhm.
the room. It's completely clean, like nothing ever happened. I am
Yeah,
amazed by that cleaning service. Then she hears some knocking on the door, and it's she like
Carolyn.
goes sees through the like the little hole in the wall. on the well, the
People.
door. Yes, and it's Carolyn. So they
Yeah.
sit down and they explain that. Well, Aaron is dead. Oh well, mission is done. And she's like,
Hmm.
"Oh my God, you wanted Villanelle to kill Aaron Peel."
Yeah.
And she's
Yeah.
like, "Do
This
you
whole
know how
time.
often we get threats of like this massive sale of
I guess.
information and everything?"
I
It
guess.
does make sense. Like at this
Yeah.
point, I'm pretty sure like they get threats like that all the time,
Yeah.
and
In the
so
digital age makes sense.
and Carolyn makes it very like clear that she had already like known that at one point or another Villanelle
Hmm.
would snap and kill. So Eve is kind of offended, I guess, that she was like set up for failure,
Hmm.
like played along with the whole mission
I
and
mean, she had a lot
everything.
of little signs. She just ignored them because she loved working with Villanelle so much.
And like multiple people told her, like Jess told her about the
Yeah.
paperwork, like
Hmm.
careful, somebody doesn't want you to leave trails.
Kenny.
Kenny told her like multiple times. Even Hugo was a little bit like, "Are you quite sure about this whole
Yeah.
damn thing?" Constantine told her several times, and she was so obsessed by working with Villanelle, keeping her close. And
Hmm.
it's very interesting how like anxious she was every time she had to work. Like every time she was like multiple times calling her,
Hmm.
trying to like answer all the time
Hmm.
with the like the ear thingy. And it was obviously set up for fail, but she like was really trying to convince herself that she was going to make it work somehow. So Carolyn tells her, "Well, this is over, so it's time to go."
Yeah.
And what about I don't know what she I can't remember what she said about
Yeah.
like
What
what they
about
were going to
Villanelle?
do.
With Villanelle, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Carolyn says anything about that.
Basically, what Carolyn wants to do is to pin everything on Villanelle. It's like we
Yeah,
cannot control an agent that is not ours. Like this is just a random killer, uh,
yeah,
that we do not employ. And Eve is really upset by this because she's obsessed with Villanelle, but also like she is righteous, I guess, in that moment for some reason. I don't think she's very righteous always, but when it comes to Villanelle, I guess. And she's like, I'm not going to just drop her. Like, I'm not going to just betray her. And Carolyn tells her that Villanelle wouldn't do the same thing for her, which is funny because Constantine tells the same thing to Villanelle about Eve.
yes,
They're really trying to pull them apart. Um, in the meantime, Carolyn also tells her about Kenny, that Kenny wasn't uh, on the cleanup team this whole time. So he warned her against his other orders, which
yeah,
is a really good friend. Villanelle, in the meantime, uh, stumbles upon Constantine, and Constantine obviously is a very interesting gay, gay character, great character. Me, as usual. This is so me. He's a very interesting, great character because he's like, he says, well, they set you up. They were setting you up this whole time, and you failed to acknowledge that.
yeah,
And Villanelle is upset about this, clearly, and he's like, but I'm giving you an opportunity to run away, and I have this car for you. You can just go. And she's like, no, actually, I'm going to wait for Eve. And
yeah,
he says to her that Eve wouldn't have done the same for her, which is once again such a lie. Like they're clearly underestimating their feelings for each other. Um, and Villanelle says no. She has this heartfelt conversation with Constantine because he literally betrayed her, and is like, "Why would you betray me over your like?" You would choose your family over me, and I was like, "Bitch, the audacity of you!" and basically he says, yeah, like they promised that they're going to give my family back to me, which like makes sense. Like he definitely loves Villanelle, but she's not family, and
Yeah.
obviously that he does have his priorities in order. Um, Villanelle and Eve meet up. They're running away. No, I'm lying. They meet up in the hotel. In the hotel,
Yeah.
like in the city one. And no, no, that's not. Basically, yeah. Eve is in the room still, and Villanelle comes back for her to the hotel, and she sees Raymond. Raymond is literally a gnome, like an evil gnome from a villainesque retelling of Snow White. Um, he's like just standing there with his axe, really excited to finally get his grubby hands on Villanelle. And I mean, I think that's where we see how insecure he actually is because they start talking about him and his role in the organization, and he's like, I'm actually like a not a nobody, like I'm someone, you know. He's
Yeah.
like trying to prove himself to her, and I'm like, dude, you're so insecure if you're trying to prove yourself to some agent. Like,
Yeah.
like we know that there are so many of them. Like they're not special. And the funniest part about this scene is she's like, I bet your kids are ugly, and he's like, yeah,
They
your kids
are.
are really
They
ugly.
really are. That
I'm
was
like,
so funny
oh
to
my
me.
god, dead of the year.
But yeah, again, he's like he has such a like a regular guy look, like
Yeah, he's like
but
a regular guy.
unsettling.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing, great acting, great
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
That
yeah.
man made an impression with what
Mhm,
little like screen time he had, and
mhm,
he's carrying like the axe and trying to go after Villanelle that has a gun, but
mhm.
decides not to use it. So
Yeah.
she starts like fist fighting the man.
I mean, I think at first she was like trying to prove to herself that she can take him down. She knew
Yeah,
that she has a gun, like if she needed one at some
yeah,
point. So she was trying to like fight him, and then it comes to Eve. Like they started talking about Eve because he figures out that Eve somewhere in this rooms, and he's like, if I'm going to like find her, I'm going to kill her. If I'm not going to find her, I'm not going to kill her. And then things start to get real, like serious. And they start fighting again. She is backed into the corner. I think she could have done something, but she doesn't do it. At least, I mean, maybe not in that moment, but later, definitely.
yeah.
And then um, Eve comes out of the room and she doesn't know what to do. And she has an axe in her hands. Like she picks it up.
She picks up the axe that Raymond left like leaning on the wall, and she grabs it just like I don't know what to do with it.
Thing is, murdering someone with an axe is really hard, I bet. Don't want to know it, um, like from the first-hand experience,
I
but it
mean,
seems like a really hard
it
thing to
is
do.
definitely more difficult with the way
It's
she was
not a
holding the
gun.
axe.
It's not a gun.
If you hold an axe, you need to keep your hands separated for better control, and then you can smack them in the head with it. Because
I mean,
even if you don't get like the sharp end, the other end is like it could even be used like as a
it's
hammer,
metal,
so
yeah.
you can still like whack them in the head. But
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that it's contact kill. Like it's
yes,
not a gun. Um, like a knife is
and
hard,
it's
but an
very
axe.
messy and gory.
Yeah. And he tells her that. He's like, you don't have like the courage to do this because you would have to chuck at me a couple of times.
Yeah,
And he's very confident that she's not going to do it, but he doesn't know her well because Villanelle starts like screaming at her and like it is acting like she's very distressed. I don't think she was as distressed as she was acting. And basically, Eve actually hacks at him. And the axe is stuck inside him, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a mess. This is an
That
actual
that
nightmare.
scene was so funny to me when he's
Such a
screaming,
nightmare.
Villanelle is holding him, and he was trying to pull the axe out. That is so funny to me for some reason. Um,
I mean, it's comical. Um, it's intended to be comical, and then like the moment comes where Villanelle could have actually pulled out the gun and murdered him, but she wanted to see what's gonna happen.
she was
So
having a moment
yeah,
watching
she was
Eve
having fun.
hack this in.
Yeah, she was like murdered, like finish him, and Eve goes ham at this guy. Like she's hysterical, and basically, like she immediately feels sick after. Obviously, like it's a mess, and Villanelle tells her to like drop her bloody clothing and to go, and she's not very sensitive about it. Let's say that she's like, yeah,
She's
come with me,
delighted.
but like she's like, come with me, but like don't barf. It's she's like, whatever, it's not a big deal.
She she goes into this odd like caring mode, but not
Yeah,
like that caring, just like
yeah,
caring version, like Villanelle version. And she's
yeah.
like, "Come here, don't swallow it, don't puke." And she's like, "I'm gonna clean you." And she like gets the blood off her face, and she's like kind of holding her as she goes downstairs and
Her
leads
little
her away.
smile, her
That
little
yeah, that's smart.
smile that she
And
gives the camera, and
uh,
they go. And Eve actually is very distressed. Like it's worse. I'm not sure if it's worse than the time she stabbed Villanelle at the end of the first season or not. It's hard
uh,
to say if it's
I think
similar.
not. It's similar because, like with Villanelle, she didn't really know. She saw her like get up and run,
Mhm.
so she was like anxious and very nervous, and she felt bad because, oh
Yeah,
my God, she almost stabbed her. But with Raymond, like there was no doubt the man was
yeah,
dead.
yeah. He's
So,
dead.
and this is like
What
kind
if they
of,
resurrect him for season 4?
please don't.
Season 3 has their own villains, and I think they're gonna be a
He
bit
makes
in
he
season
makes me
4 as well.
and
Yeah, so they're running, and Villanelle is kind of leading Eve, and she's like obsessed with Eve right now because Eve is like, and they're basically getting into some ruins that are clearly like they're constructing, they're doing something like some construction there, uh,
a
and
moment of attention for my
yeah, I
baby.
looked at her. I looked at her. Not going to
Ah,
lie.
I just
So
love it
yeah,
two times.
and it's very pretty and very picturesque. They're like um
And a tunnel,
in
and
this
they go into the
ruins.
ruins.
I feel like the set design was done very well. Like they found a really good place to
Yes,
do the scene in. It's not
that
there are not
place
a lot
is
of people there.
gorgeous
Like no one is there.
with the
Um,
water, the ruins, the like
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
broken
And
ceiling and
and also
everything.
like everything is broken. Like the
I,
symbolism of that.
I curiously, I would have loved that setting more for Hannibal than
Mhm.
for Killing Eve. I
I
would have
mean,
switched this
because
this
yeah,
this setting for like a final showdown for Hannibal. That would
I
have been
mean,
great.
they didn't get to Italy, so
Yeah,
as in like not in the third season, that would be 3B.
yeah.
So basically, mm, Villanelle already is like making plans aloud. She is this square woman that you meet, like that you go on a second date with, and she's planning your whole life together. She's that person. Right now, she's like so lovesick. She's obsessed.
Yes.
Like we're going to live in like a small village or something. Like we're going to live in some
That sounded
house,
so nice, but I just know it isn't.
and
Like
it's
the
nice
moving
food.
to a cabin in Alaska and I'll
Yeah.
make dinner and
Yeah,
oh
I
my
think
God,
like don't worry, I can like afford to do this. Like you're not gonna need
I'm
anything.
gonna take care of you. Somebody give me all the fanfics right
Yeah,
now.
and every single time it was like, no, we have to come back home. Villanelle was like, "Don't be stupid. Like, we can't get like come back. It's not gonna be the same. Like, we just can't do this." And like at first, it's very obvious that Eve is in a bit of a trance, and
Yes.
if Villanelle would have played her cards right, she would have actually went with her, but she would have regretted it later.
Yeah,
So I'm not
probably.
sure I wanted that. And basically, like they're walking in this ruins, trying to find like
An exit.
yeah an exit. And Villanelle hears a sound. It's just the birds, and she pulls out her gun. That is when Eve is immediately back to herself, and she's like, "You had a gun this whole time." And like this, like the toxicity comes out, like this whole thing, like this whole manipulation comes out, and they have this argument, which is one of my favorites, one of my favorite dialogues in the show in general. Like she tells her that like you're manipulating me, basically you wanted me to kill this guy for you. And Villanelle is like, "Yeah, I wanted that. Like, don't you want the same thing, babe?" And he was like, "No, you actually want me this way. Like, you want me to be afraid. You want me to be like to need you, and like I don't
Yes.
want to be this person." And Villanelle is immediately, "But like, I love you. Like, I want to be with you, babe." And like, shit goes down. Basically, um, I mean, I think it's very rude coming from Eve when she said that Villanelle doesn't know what love is. I feel like that's very condescending and I didn't love it.
I think it was because that argument came up earlier when they were having like the discussion about serial killers. The first time the psychiatrist shows up,
Mhm,
he's like,
mhm,
they're incapable of real emotions. They're shallow.
mhm,
Their
mhm,
emotions are very shallow. They are not
mhm,
capable of deep connections or anything.
mhm.
Like that man was straight up trying to tell her she will never love you. She's only uh, entertaining herself with you. That it's not real. It's not uh,
I mean,
psychopaths can love.
I don't think it's entirely true, at least when it comes to
No,
their
not
case.
in this case.
Um,
In
so
many other
basically, when
cases.
she's like starts to condescend and like to like, and they are actually like physically fighting as well. Like it's not very contact heavy, but they're very close.
Yeah.
And then Eve says that she's like going back home and she doesn't care. And Villanelle shoots her. And it's interesting that she shoots her because she does it not because she hates Eve, I guess. I guess she's disappointed that she didn't get what she wanted, but she does it to remind herself that she can do this. Because this whole arc of season 2 was her trying to reconcile with her feelings for Eve in a way. The same goes for Eve toward
Yeah.
Villanelle, but she was told a lot that she has to do it to like free herself by Constantine, by Aaron, by people, and also this
Yeah.
whole therapy thing. We know that there was an episode between them where Villanelle told her like, "I like her, but I don't like you that much. Like I'm still the first person, like the first priority for myself." So she's just doing it because she's better, obviously, but also I think mostly because she wants to prove that she can do this still,
Yeah.
that she's
And
unattached.
they both kind of got into their own brand of like self-defense.
Yeah.
Eve was trying to be like as hurtful as possible.
Mhm,
Like your feelings are not real.
mhm,
You are the one that wanted this. This is
mhm,
entirely on you.
mhm,
That kind of stuff. I
mhm,
can. What else does she says? She acts like kind of visibly disgusted at her.
mhm,
Uh, for like the like you wanted me to be scared. You wanted me to be broken. You wanted me to be
mhm.
like a killer, like you.
A mess, yeah.
And so she's trying to like gather up all her like moral standards and just like put them in a
Mhm,
barrier between them.
mhm,
And Villanelle's tantrum, it kind of feels like a tantrum at some point, especially when she's like yelling, you're
Yeah,
mine,"
yeah, yeah.
and um, I think it was very impulsive of her to like shoot her, but I think she does say that she didn't
I
shoot her
think
anywhere dangerous.
I think it's also because she feels patronized and she doesn't love being patronized. We know that.
Yeah,
It's also because he was like, yeah, she tells her first of all that you don't know what love is, and then she's also like gaslighting her in a way because like we've been analyzing Hannibal in the same way as in Hannibal at some point got fed off with Will being a good guy when he knew that Will is capable of stuff, dark
yeah,
stuff. Similar thing is happening with Eve's and Villanelle's storyline because Villanelle knows Eve now, and she's like, "But I know but I know you. Stop telling me that that's not who you are. Sort of. Stop
yeah.
making me the villain." Although, I mean, she did manipulate her, but a lot of the things, like I feel like Eve met her halfway in many like plot subplots in this series. She's definitely like she definitely wanted things, but now she's pretending that she was forced into them. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
that is exactly what I mean when I don't really like when the characters have like one foot on the brake and the other on the accelerator,
Yeah.
because it's not necessarily like I understand the fear, I understand the reluctance to like get into something like that, especially like personal relationships. If personal relationships are scary as they are, I can imagine what it is like trying to get into a relationship with a serial killer. So no, but what I mean is there's this point that is it's a very frequent uh part of the trope of the good person falls for the serial killer and vice
Yeah,
versa.
yeah.
It's just that when the hero or like the good person tries to blame everything on the killer and say this they try to free themselves of like their own decisions and their own uh they think they don't want to face like the consequences of what they did, what they
Mhm.
thought, and what they wanted to do. It's just a
Mhm.
complete denial, but while shoving the entire responsibility onto the person that
Mhm.
is bad.
Mhm.
And that is the one thing that is just but it's very well done
It's
because
very
it really
human, I
does.
guess.
Yes, it very well shows that not all good people are not entirely good and they're not entirely bad.
Mhm.
So things are not like as easy and straightforward. They're not black and white.
Mhm.
And but moments like this, when like the hero trying to like pulls away
Mhm.
from that whole relationship that they were
Mhm.
getting into. Like for instance, I understand like first season Hannibal, Will was being manipulated in every fucking possible way. But later on, he came back for his own free will.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Eve as well. Like Eve is constantly jumping back into like Villanelle's orbit, even when she has had
Yeah.
plenty of
No one
options to
asked
like
her.
walk away.
She,
Exactly.
yeah, she had all the opportunities to walk away in the first half of the second season. She was looking for opportunities to like lure Villanelle into another case.
Even with the ghost, like they were focused on another case, and she was like, "Oh, how I can make this about Villanelle then?"
Yeah, yeah,
Ma'am, you were trying so hard, and then now you're saying that it's all her. Um,
doing, yeah,
exactly. So
manipulation,
I
etc.
there's also another layer of like uh what is it? Not annoyance, like anger with Villanelle for that. Just like, are you really throwing this on my face and saying it's my fault when you clearly were just as into it as I was? She
Yeah,
did
yeah, yeah,
cross
yeah.
the line with like making her like kill. But again, let's go back to the axe thing for a little moment. She could have whacked him in the head, like knocked him out,
Yeah.
but she
I
chose to kill
mean,
him.
That's a very gray area.
Yeah,
Obviously, she was like they were in danger. She had
immediate
to
danger.
choose quickly. So yeah, I understand that she feels manipulated, but in many other ways, she was not manipulated.
Yeah,
Um, like, what did she expect? As in, like, you're getting into a relationship with a serial killer, with a hired gun assassin.
exactly.
What do you expect? Also, there's some other point that I wanted to make. Oh, do you think they're going to get therapy, like couple therapy in season 4? I would love to see that.
Yeah. And for season 4, I keep expecting, like I said, like season 3 was full on. Let's deep dive into Villanelle and her um, deep dive into Villanelle and her story and her like origin and everything, like her family, her roots, and throughout like the seasons, I think they have been like humanizing a lot Villanelle's character to like
Yeah.
show you this is not like, oh, she's just evil, she's
Mm-hmm.
just bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I would like to know more about Eve's
Yeah.
story. And I was thinking about a scene when I saw the psychiatric ward, and I would like that's probably for a fanfic or something, but it would be very interesting in what would happen if they tried to have like Eve committed for like
Right.
what she does because she's losing her shit and she's not exactly very stable on season like 3. I think I have I wrote something about that.
Something is happening. I think on the top floor. Um, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know why would they like. She's not. She didn't do anything. Like usually, you would be.
Yeah. I remember because my mind was making a little bit of a crossover here. That I was wondering, like, about like somebody breaking Eve out of psych ward, like in The Handmaiden,
Oh, okay. I just
because
usually they commit people if they try uh, killing themselves. So,
and others, right? They you can have somebody committed if they're a danger to themselves or others,
yeah, or
and
something.
if especially if they like specify that the danger comes from like mental stability. Um, so that would be an interesting, I don't know, episode for me. Especially because, like, again, Eve is very like unstable in season 3 with like trauma
Yeah,
and like everything from like the bullet
I
hole that she has,
I
and
feel like she's fine in season 3.
mm, she's
I
holding
don't
it together
I don't
because,
remember it
like, I
being heavy.
do. Nico is the one that lost his shit,
Yeah,
like severely, understandably so. He was just a normal man. He did not sign up for all of this, but he could have quit it and he didn't. At least he didn't. Oh, well, he did die. So what else? It would be interesting for
um,
them to like sit down and actually have a conversation. Um,
I just wish to see them with a therapist. Like I would
because
be actually really interested because they have some toxicity to work through.
they did try like have a real conversation like in the on the bridge later
Yeah,
on.
let's not spoil it for people because
Yes.
there are some people that have not watched season 3. Um, yeah, so I don't know. That's what I want for season 4. But I honestly don't even know what they're going to do. Like big mystery, especially considering that season 4 is the finale, like the final season.
Yeah.
They have to pull it
Well,
over
they're
the
gonna
top.
go like up against the 12.
Do you think we're going to get a sex scene? We have to. We
Yeah.
must. I feel like we
Yes.
must. Like there has to.
Because
If
by
not,
the
I'm suing.
yeah, I do think they will because they have been like very clear and they have been making steps like
Yeah.
towards that. So it would be like very ridiculous if they like kind of shy out of it
Mhm.
by now. Because like for
Mhm.
instance, with Hannibal they still have like the excuse, or it's just not a physical relationship or whatever. Bullshit.
Seems.
But uh with this, like they have been very clear from the start that they do have sexual attraction for each other.
Mhm.
So yeah, I am pretty much sure we will get a sex scene. Uh,
Let's hope.
hopefully more than one.
Let's hope. Let's pray for that.
What I am actually like wondering is, are they both going to survive?
Let's not go there. I'm hoping for a happy ending, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Because like it's not the same show as like it's not similar to Hannibal in this way that like it's comedic enough and light-hearted enough to deliver a happy ending.
Yeah,
That's what I'm hoping for. Or at least like a happy for now kind of ending.
yeah,
Like it's open.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I can handle like open ending or like the happy ending. But if they give me a bad one, I might just get on a plane and go over there to slap somebody.
Yeah.
Um,
If they jump off a cliff, I'll be pissed.
oh my God, seriously, I'm so tempted to have a t-shirt that says keep your homosexuals away from cliffs.
Yeah.
So many
I
have
mean, some
jumped.
people won't get it.
I know. But there's just so
Just
many
take it
options.
to like a crude
Even
joke about
like
suicide.
again, even in the Chinese shows that I watched, the first one starts with the hero jumping off a cliff. He comes back 13 years later in a different body that
It's
looks exactly like
classic.
the same as his. But, and there's another one, I love that trope. Faking your death in front of a loved one for the angst of it. Like when they
Okay.
think you are dead.
You live for the angst, though. I don't.
Yes, I read that shit for fun. So, um, again, the clips are a danger to my mental health in more way than one. So, if I make a shirt, I'll show it.
Okay.
I can do it like embroidery.
Okay. I guess that's it then. We're
Yes.
going to start with season 3 next week, hopefully, if nothing comes up. But I think we permanently moved to Sunday. It's more convenient to everybody.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll see you next week then.
The last
Anybody
note
want to
that I
say?
have
Okay.
was that I was watching, like, I kept looking at the screen while the credits were rolling,
Yeah.
and somebody's last name is Hooker. I was just like,
When you don't
imagine going for your life with that name. That must have been
when you
interesting.
don't have to choose a profession, when the profession chooses you.
Exactly. That was very interesting. So shout out to that person whose last name is Hooker. Brilliant.
Okay then, I was happy to see you and everyone, and I hope that next week is gonna be exciting. I don't remember what
Yes.
happens in the first episodes of season 3. Oh, I remember. It's not exciting. Okay, not to
Yeah.
dampen your excitement and you know, whatever. See you next week. Happy to see
Yes.
you. Was happy to see you today, and hope you
Same.
have a nice end of the weekend and this week in general. Bye.
Bye.